Hello. This video is an overview of EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange. Electronic Data Interchange is a standard format for electronically exchanging business documents or messages. EDI can be used to electronically link a company directly with its customers, warehouses, suppliers, banks, and business partners. And it can also transfer data within an organization, for example, between different departments or divisions, including financial data and supply chain management data. Let's take a look at an example of a B2B or business-to-business purchase transaction. Before the 1980s, all of this was done by paper. For example, the buyer's computer would print out a purchase order, and then a person would take the purchase order off the printer, put it in an envelope, and mail it to the seller. Upon receipt, the seller would rekey in the data off of the purchase order into their computer, and at this point, this would be known as a sales order. Today, all of those middle steps are removed. Today, a buyer's computer can send their purchase order directly to the seller's computer. So how does EDI send these transactions? Well, they use unique identifiers called transaction codes. For example, the buyer's computer would send a transaction with a code of 850 to the seller's computer, and that would indicate that a purchase order has been sent. And then the seller's computer could acknowledge the receipt of the purchase order by sending an 855 transaction. Let's walk through this process. The buyer's computer would send a purchase order, which would be an 850 transaction, to the seller's computer. The seller's computer would convert it into a sales order and acknowledge or respond to the sales order by sending an 855 transaction back to the buyer's computer. At a later date and time, if the buyer's computer indicates that there is a change in the purchase order, an 860 transaction would be sent to the seller's computer and the sales order would be changed. Right before the goods are scheduled for shipment, the seller's computer would send an 856 transaction to the buyer's computer, and after the receipt of the goods, the seller's computer would send an 810 transaction indicating a sales invoice was being sent to the buyer's computer. At this point, the buyer could send a check and pay for the goods, or we could continue with EDI financial transactions. And in this case, the buyer's computer could send an 820 transaction to the buyer's bank indicating a payment should be made. The buyer's bank could respond with an 824 transaction back to the buyer's computer, then transfer funds electronically to the supplier or the seller's bank, which would indicate the funds had been received with an 823 transaction sent to the seller. All of this would be accomplished without human intervention. So what are the benefits of EDI? Well, EDI conforms to ANSI requirements. EDI runs on value-added networks, or VANs, virtual private networks, VPNs, the internet, and direct communication links. EDI improves efficiency. There's no printing, mailing, storing, filing, no wait times, and then EDI reduces errors by eliminating human intervention. There's no rekeying of data, and data goes directly from one computer to the other computer.